you have Istanbul, huge hub, Constantinople before, huge hub of Muslims wanting to visit Mecca. So there was this like Ottoman idea, like, right, we'll just build a railway. We'll build this railway line which will go from Istanbul all the way down to Mecca and Medina.
By 1908, the line successfully linked Damascus to Medina,
Yes.
cutting the journey from a 40-day camel caravan trek to 3 days on a train.
Now, was it finished and completed? No, it was not finished and completed. And there are now talks of reviving it.
The vision is to be a passenger train, right?
Is to be a passenger train, yes. The idea of like actually having a really connected Arabia, should I call it Arabian Peninsula, is actually, I think, is really exciting. And it's like, it conjures up those memories of like grandeur.
The image of like glamorous, lavish railway travel, very early 20th century.
It's coming back.
It's coming back.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today, we're going to be speaking about the Arab films that have been submitted to the Oscars.
Submitted, key. And the revival of the famous Hejaz Railway.
This is Culture Bites coming to you from the National News. I'm Enas Refaei.
And I'm Farah Andrews.
We're here every Thursday.
Oh, did we not mention that?
No.
Was that in my script? Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. We've both been travelling a bit.
We've both been jet setters. That's why last week there wasn't an episode.
Yeah, we're really sorry if you're waiting for an episode. We're scrambling. Behind the scenes, a lot of scrambling does happen.
I wasn't because I was away. I was far away. I didn't do no scrambling.
Yeah, you weren't scrambling. I was scrambling trying to find a way of finding a substitute. But you can't be substituted, Farah.
Filling the void.
It was very difficult. And then in the end, I just thought, do our listeners really want me just talking down the barrel?
I didn't listen to it. ASMR for me.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, you were travelling quite far away.
I was very far away. Would you like me to tell you about it?
That's what I was leaning to.
I was in Las Vegas for something very exciting.
That you can't talk about.
No, I can talk about it.
Okay,
I'm not that girl. I'm not gatekeeping. I was in Las Vegas staying at the Wynn Las Vegas, which is a very cool, very big, very famous hotel. But very significantly, the Wynn is opening here in the UAE. It's opening in Ras Al Khaimah. It's opening in 2027, so a little while away. But they took us, a few journalists, over to Las Vegas to kind of try the Wynn out. And they made a few very exciting announcements when we were there about the restaurants and some of the foodie bits from the hotel.
Fun.
And then they showed us around. They showed us... So this is a bit travel nerdy, but
Okay, go.
I think it's really interesting. They have this space up the road from the hotel. I mean, everything in America is very big.
Yeah.
And everything in Vegas is huge.
Even bigger, yeah.
And so they have this space up the road from the hotel that kind of looks like a film soundstage, if you can imagine that. Like, so we know what Hollywood soundstage look like. They're very big. They're to scale.
Yeah. And
what they do in this space, it's obviously where they kind of like work things out in terms of like restaurants and layouts and everything. And in this space, they have created life-size mock-ups of what some of the lobbies will look like and the rooms of the hotel.
Wow.
And also, as we know, there is going to be a gaming element at this hotel. So I've seen what the gaming floor is going to look like.
Very exciting.
Or could look like.
That's
I think
very
it's going
exciting.
to look like.
I honestly, how long was that flight?
16 hours and 40 minutes.
Drop me out. Even if I was on like
and that's
first
only
class.
to LA.
No, just no.
And then we had to wait in LA for 5 hours and then go to...
You're a great flyer though.
I sleep.
I just can't do that.
Going there, I didn't sleep that much. Coming back, I got on that plane. I fell asleep. I think I was asleep for more than 10 hours of the flight. And I was awake for a meal, sleep. And then I woke up and they asked me if I want breakfast. I said, no thanks, I'll have a poke bowl, please. And then it was 2 hours left of the flight, so I read my book, which we'll talk about later in my recommendations.
Look at that, guys.
That's flying for me.
Yeah, I popped
How
back
was
to
your
London.
trip?
I popped back to London to see a friend for her 40th and just to catch my goddaughter.
Exciting, lovely.
Yeah, it was really nice. And my goddaughter listens to the show. So Josephine, I know she was listening to it in the car.
A fan.
She's a fan. It's very fun.
Cute.
But she's just had a little baby brother and sister arrive. Twins have descended upon Josephine's. I know, it's descended upon Josephine's life. So it's very exciting.
What a big week.
Very big week. Right. So let's crack on and talk about the Arab films that have been submitted.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think I got quite excited when I read this list. I saw it on our website and I was like, right, oh my God, there's so many Arab films that are in the Oscar running. No.
Let me do a bit of explaining.
Please explain.
So at the moment, we're still in the long list phase of the Oscars.
Is this where everyone's just
compiling.
like, I'll put my hat in the...
For best international feature, yes. Countries have to submit their feature film. So, for example, we've got contenders from Egypt, Iraq, Lebanon. They're films that the countries have submitted for this specific category, best international feature. So, countries all around the world will submit their chosen feature film to the category. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, at the moment, these are not the final nominations. They'll come out later this year. And then we'll have, or maybe even early next year. And then the Oscars runs, the kind of big campaign runs throughout.
So exciting.
Awards season. What's your favourite season? Awards season. Schitt's Creek, what a show. And so, yeah, at the moment, we have Arab films from Jordan, Tunisia, Lebanon, Palestine, Egypt, Morocco, and Iraq that have been entered for the Oscars next year.
I feel like, obviously, with everything going on, there's going to be a lot of attention on the Palestinian films this year. I mean, Palestine has always entered films. There's always been quite a strong presence of Palestinian films in all, not just the Oscars, but in all awards.
Yeah, for sure. So in this category, that we haven't yet had an Arabic language film win Best International Feature. In 1970, an Algerian film won. It was Algerian French, submitted by Algeria, and it was in Arabic, French, and Russian, but it wasn't in Arab. No, Farah, it wasn't in Arabic, French, Russian. It was in French, Russian, and English, but not Arabic. This film, Z or Z, depending on how you say it. I can't believe I said Z, but it probably was Z as it was marketed. But
I remember Thebe got nominated, which is the Jordanian film. And it got that far, and I just remember thinking, it's brilliant. It's a great film. Cracking film. Didn't win.
But this year we could have an Arabic winner.
Yes.
Let's talk about a few of the submissions. You have one in particular we'd like to talk about.
Well, yeah. I think, should we talk about the Palestinian one first?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we've covered this film a lot, which is The Voice of Hind Rajab.
Which is not actually the submission from Palestine.
No, it's a submission from Tunisia.
Yeah.
Because the director, Kauthar Ben Hania, is Tunisian.
Yeah.
So, which is interesting. There are other submissions, obviously, from Palestine itself, but this one has come from Tunisia.
Yeah.
And this, in case anybody's missed any of our coverage on this, it's a drama based on a real life story of a 5-year-old girl who was killed in Gaza by the Israeli military, and she's stuck in a car. So I haven't seen this film yet.
It's not yet. So this is key.
Okay.
A lot of the films we're going to discuss today,
yes,
people won't have seen. They're all very much at the film festival stage.
Yeah.
But they will have to have a release, a cinema. I think this is true. They have to be released this year to be eligible to be in the Oscars.
And then
next
people
year.
do this thing where they release them quite late in the year.
They have like a 1 week. What people do, not so much for this category. This category is quite art house, smaller films. For some of the best picture.
Yeah.
So best film at the Oscars.
Yeah.
What they will do, kind of a strategic campaign, is for it to have like a 1 week cinema release.
Yeah.
End of December. Or in December. And then it will get a bigger release in kind of like early next year,
so it's
when it's kind of part of the campaign.
So if they think it
towards
was...
the end of this year, we might see a lot of films have like a little quick release, and then they
And
have
then
a bigger
last
release
year we
next
had
year.
Aura win, and it was like kind of controversial.
That was for Best Aurora, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh no, we've gone off on a tangent that I can't talk about.
Right, let's talk about some of the films then. Other than The Voice of Hind Rajab, which, as we know, has already had a lot of a
Getting
spotlight.
a lot of attention.
It also won the prestigious Silver Lion at the Venice Film Festival.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
being backed by Brad Pitt, Joaquin Phoenix, and it's like, it's really taken a lot of media attention, which is fantastic. So we wanted to shed some light on films that haven't taken as much media attention. I've chosen one from the list, which I saw the trailer for this like a few months ago, and I thought this looks great. And it's called Happy Birthday. It's by the director Sarah Gahar, and it's her directional debut. And it's set in Egypt. And it's set in kind of like a family getting ready for a birthday party. Annoyingly, it's called Happy Birthday. Like, if you put this into Google, it's not very helpful. So if you're wanting to find out more about this film, don't just put in Happy. You have to put in Sarah Gahar or Sarah. Maybe you should pronounce that same Sarah. Or just put in film.
Happy Birthday Film Egypt. Probably will work.
Something like that. Anyway, that's a little side tangent. So
that's contextual, because Enas would have been Googling this about 45 minutes ago going, I
just wanted to know more about it. So this film has also got a famous backer. Jamie Foxx is backing this.
Okay.
Exec producer. So it tells a story of an 8-year-old who's in this household. And as the story unfolds, you realise that actually this 8-year-old girl who's helping to prepare for this birthday is actually a maid.
Oh, okay.
So it's talking about child labour in Egypt. And her name is Toha.
When's it set?
And it's set... This is the other thing is I can't work it out when it's set. And I think that might be deliberate. It's kind of like be strategic over like when and how is this set. And the idea is I feel from watching the small bit snippets that I've seen, is like to keep you in this kind of like contained world, but then it's not clear that she is a maid, basically child labour.
Is that the big plot twist at the end that we've kind of
No,
not at all.
It's it's in the trailer and it's been spoken about a lot. But it's kind of the unfolding of that is very delicate. So you get this kind of, and what I think is they're trying to talk about is the morality of this family that have a child maid, but also they're kind of almost disconnecting themselves from it. And then this girl is kind of part of the family, but not. I saw some, film reviewers online talking about her character as though she's kind of like a cat in the family, like precious and played with, but like has a different role to everybody else in the family.
Okay.
And it's kind of
good analogy.
Yeah, and I feel like it might be quite eerie in parts. And she obviously works for a wealthy family. So there's also that, like, domestic workers working for these wealthy families, but also like not necessarily being part of that family, even though they are a child themselves. So where's her family and how does that fit in? So I think it's brave, first of all, to talk about something that happens in Egypt. Perhaps I'm not aware of everything that happens in all countries, but I think it would be a brave film to put forward as well from Egypt about something like such a strong subject.
Very powerful, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see this film.
I have a film that's kind of thematically linked.
Oh, hello.
Called The President's Cake.
Hey!
This is Iraq's submission from the director Hassan Hadi. It is set in Baghdad during the Saddam Hussein era. I've watched, it says it's a trailer, but I think it's more of an excerpt of the film. And it kind of centers on 9-year-old Lamia, who must find ingredients to bake a birthday cake for the president. And failure to deliver this cake will have very dire consequences for her family. So it kind of tackles a lot of kind of like patriotism and control within a regime, and set in a very specific time. This film has been very well received already. Yeah. It won the best debut feature at Cannes this year.
Wow.
Which is the first for an Iraqi filmmaker.
Wow, incredible. Well done.
So,
And who's the director?
the director is, I've said the director's name is Hassan Hadi.
Okay, so amazing. So, but it's centered around another young woman, a girl.
And children making cakes.
Children.
So there's a couple of themes. Do you want to talk about another film?
Yes. So we're now going from Iraq and we're going to Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
So this is A Sad and Beautiful World. And this is from Cyril Aris, the director, Lebanese director. Now, this tells a story between two childhood sweethearts, Nino and Yasmina, who reconnect in their 20s and in Lebanon. And like, you know, in the backdrop, or like I always see Lebanon is always a character in any Lebanese person's life. I think that Lebanon, if you are in Beirut, there's no way that system is almost like a narrator to your world in some shape or form. And I think Cyril's like really tried to bring that to life in this film. It's got that kind of like really like nostalgic feeling, but also that rekindling of like young love, which is just so intoxicating. You know, the kind of like blurry moments, the like nighttime running through the road, like it's very nostalgic, romantic film. And he's a self-taught director.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is, you know, amazing, incredible from him, because it's got a real style and feel about it. It kind of feels like a dream of like, I don't know. I'm probably just an old romantic. I love the idea of like seeing someone that like I probably had a crush on as a child, seeing them again and like rekindling something like, oh, exciting. Anyway, he also has like some comedy elements. He said that this film is like really, as a Lebanese person, he finds it really difficult to not be in this kind of really turbulent time without bringing in comedy.
So when is it set?
It's set during like kind of the contemporary history, he says, the director. So he called it the contemporary history of Lebanon and Beirut. So it's very much on this like kind of political upheaval and economic downfall of the city. And the overarching theme that he had for the film is to talk about like, is it safe to bring children into this world?
Okay.
So it's about these lovers, but it's also about like the challenges that they're facing in contemporary Lebanon.
So it's present. It's present.
It's present, yeah. Present. Okay. But like I hate to say the word present because everything can change in like 2 days.
So sorry, contemporary.
Yeah, contemporary. So yeah, I'm quite excited about seeing this one. I love them. Well, I don't know if it's a rom-com. Could we call it a rom-com?
Well, it's romance and comedy.
Yeah. Okay, let's call it a Lebanese rom-com.
And I like it.
Yeah. A sad and beautiful world.
It doesn't sound like a rom-com, but it sounds
like,
rom.
Oh, but isn't romance just a little bit, it has to be a little bit painful.
There has to be some sad.
There has to be some pain. Right.
I would like to talk finally about Morocco's entry,
yes.
which is called Calle Malaga. It's actually in Spanish.
Oh, she loves a Spanish film.
Which is why I chose it. I haven't seen the trailer for this, but I have seen a scene and it's so beautiful. It's a new drama directed by Mariam Touzani. And it is about Maria Angeles, a woman who is fighting to keep her childhood home in Tangier, Morocco, after her daughter decides to sell it. So it's about, again, another kind of nostalgia, home, roots. And it looks like a kind of slow pace.
Yeah.
We aren't expecting anything. It's, quite art house, but lovely about family, those kind of like complicated relationships, a lot of passion, a lot of fire because it is in Spanish.
And they are Moroccan.
Yeah. And so this film was premiered at Venice in the Venice Spotlight section of the festival. And it won the section's audience award, so another award winner.
Oh, lovely!
I guess hence why it's kind of been plucked by Morocco as its submission
Fantastic.
to the Academy Awards this year.
I'm all. I mean, I know we've won awards from our audience, but I think they mean the best. They mean the most. It's always about the audience.
Yeah, the audience.
How they relate to something.
And so then just the other 3 films that have been submitted, but we won't go into too much kind of like plot context, but we would be remiss not to mention are All That's Left of
Yes.
You from Jordan.
Yes.
Palestine 36, which is Palestine's entry, and we've spoken about that in the past.
I mean, it's got a huge cast. Jeremy Irons, Liam Cunningham, Salah Bakri.
Yeah. Big film. And then Sweden. This is interesting. Sweden's entry is an Arabic language thriller, The Eagles of the Republic.
Nice.
So, yeah, super interesting and lots to kind of keep an eye on. And there will be more films from...
I'm sure
before the Oscars, we'll do a bit of a recap of the films, the Arabic language films and Arab country submissions. We're back. Welcome back.
Hello, welcome back. A lovely break. I always need a little break. Anyway, right.
Take a minute.
I'm going to talk now about something that's quite dear to my heart, the Hejaz Railway.
Now, can you give me a bit of a history lesson, please?
Yes. So this is a very famous railway which ran, or it was intended to run from Istanbul to Mecca and Medina. Okay, so the area alongside that part of Saudi Arabia is the region of the Hejaz. So it's very culturally significant, and it was very important during the Islamic era, but even pre-Islamically, because if you remember, from Yemen was like a port, and people would go from Yemen, they'd stop in Mecca, they'd go on to Damascus. And that was like a route and a trade route. Okay. And that's part of a big significant part of Arab history.
Yeah.
Of course, you then had the spread of Islam into Turkey and elsewhere. And then you have Istanbul, huge hub, Constantinople before, huge hub of Muslims wanting to visit Mecca. So there was this Ottoman idea, right, we'll just build a railway. We'll build this railway line which will go from Istanbul all the way down to Mecca and Medina.
And this is at the beginning of last century, right?
And this is the beginning of last century, yeah. So it was pulled together, and as part of Ottoman ruling, they declared it of religious significance. Okay. So everybody donated money. And I think at the time, this was cost an absolute fortune. Now, was it finished and completed? No, it was not finished and completed, and there are now talks of reviving it. Okay. So the revival of this, now some of the line is still there. We still have, I think it's about 20 working engines in Jordan of the trains that were originally on that line. Okay. We still have, I think it's about 20 to 30 in Syria. Some of the railway line hasn't been any upkeep during the Syrian war, so that has crumbled. It wasn't always complete from Istanbul to Damascus. That line wasn't complete anyway. Okay. So there are bits and pieces. So there's going to be a bit of patchworking going on. In Jordan, some of it is still working and it's been used for freights. And there's still the beautiful building, the Hejaz railway station in Damascus as well, in central Damascus.
So the vision is to be a passenger train, right?
It's to be a passenger train, yes. So this idea, which was this basically to make pilgrimage easier. I'm
reading here that it was so. By 1908, the line successfully linked Damascus to Madinah,
yes,
cutting the journey from a 40-day camel caravan trek to 3 days on a train.
3 days. I think it was 3 or 5, actually, but yeah.
Wow.
So it was it's a really significant piece of history. Now, in Jordan, we have and I love all the anecdotes about this railway, that people would try and rob people on the railway. So often bandits would stop the railway. And there are even gold diggers, or people who go and look for treasure, treasure hunters, will go and try and find old parts of the railway with metal detectors and try and find bits of treasure. Okay. It's kind of a fun little piece of history. Yeah. Anyway, it's it's coming back.
It's coming back.
So Jordan, Syria, Turkey are all saying they want to bring it back. They're trying to improve access for lots of reasons between Turkey, but also like down to Aqaba, which is where I lived for a long time. So to the Jordanian port of Aqaba, which is Jordan's only slice of sea. So it's quite significant for Jordan, this bit of water. So it is, again, it's bringing up those kind of like Ottoman style, like ambitious projects. But what I feel like is really significant is we've also got, you know, a railway building happening here in the UAE.
There are so many, and then a very lavish passenger rail that's coming to Saudi.
Yes. And this idea of connecting up this region, which isn't it's not a new idea. This has existed since the Ottoman rule in the 1900s. But like, it's just the idea of like actually having a really connected Arabia, should I call it Arabian Peninsula, is actually, I think, is really exciting. And it's like, it conjures up those memories of like grandeur.
Yeah. There is something so, I mean, it kind of does like take you back to like the image of like glamorous, lavish railway travel, very early 20th century, the kind of like sleeper trains, those long journeys. Obviously now modern transport means we're all crammed in, like we're on a plane. But there are still really, really, really beautiful train journeys that you can take. There is such a fascination with beautiful train journeys, like both in this room and also everywhere. Like people love those like the Orient Express. Key. There's the Caledonian sleeper train in Scotland, the Trans-Siberian, the Alpine one that takes you from Zurich. That are just such beautiful, like some of the most beautiful train journeys in the world. Incredible. And in Sri Lanka, I took such a beautiful train journey.
Everyone does the train journey in Sri Lanka. I think there's something really romantic about train journeys in general. And I think people like to travel by train. It's relaxing. It's a very relaxing way to go 100%. Somewhere. And you get to see the scenery. So it doesn't feel like when you're getting on a plane and then you just like, you're teleported somewhere. You can even take in the kind of cultural significance of an area.
And you see such, like you say, the scenery. You really do see a country.
Now, Jordan is always there in Amman. You know, we've still got the station in Amman as well. So there's a station in Damascus, station in Amman. Like, if these would actually, like, you know, serve again, who knows? Who knows if there's going to be slight altercation, like, you know, because some of them are in real residential areas now since the railways kind of disappeared. But, you know, could we bring them back is going to be something. In Jordan, there is also a museum dedicated to the Hejaz Railway, which I'm sure a lot of people go to. I think it's in most Jordanian tour guides. And there is in Wadi Rum, which is where part of the railway would go. There is also like, you can, as a tourist, get on board a train and they do like a little reenactment and like horses run alongside it and they like shoot fake guns. And it's like, woo, look at this. I've seen it a couple of times. I've not been on it, but I have seen it a few times. So yeah, it's like, I think it's like a real milestone for so many reasons, but also like, you know, this was a target during the First World War. This connectivity that was in existence just after Ottoman rule was a target. And now, hopefully, we're moving into this kind of like symbolic time where we are, again, trying to bring back that network, that connectivity, and heal from the past. That's how I'm seeing it.
Amazing. Well, what an exciting project for many, many countries over many, many years, but being led by Turkey, I believe.
Yes. And there's like a different ruling. So they've already come together and they're saying, like, you know, Jordan will look after the technical side. Turkey has a lot of rebuilding to do. Syria has a lot of rebuilding to do. So I know there's like a bridge that's definitely damaged in the north of Jordan. So there's like little bits and pieces. Look at me, I sound so knowledgeable.
You do. Beautiful cultural connectivity. I love it.
Yes.
Would you like to recommend anything to me?
Yes, I want to recommend something.
Okay.
You were like shocked at this.
Yeah, I'm surprised. But
You're
tell
kind
me
of
about
shocked.
it.
Okay, so my recommendation, it came out earlier this year, is Mickey 17.
Okay.
It's directed by Bong Joon-ho, who is the famous director who won the Oscar for Parasites Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like that. It was his first, I believe it's his first English language film. So it's in English. It stars Robert Pattinson, but also you have Tony Collette.
Yeah, great cast.
Mark Ruffalo. And I have to say, Mark Ruffalo's performance in this was outstanding. And so was Robert Pattinson, actually. He doesn't get enough credit for being a great actor. I think Twilight kind of like...
Do you think that's true?
I think he's a really good actor.
I think he's a phenomenal actor. I think he's really shed the Twilight.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
This is brilliant. So he is basically...
He'll always be our Pats, though.
Yeah, I think I will. Oh my God. I was of that era. Anyway, so it's a sci-fi. It's a black comedy. It's based on a 2022 novel by Edward Ashton. So it's very sci-fi. So you've got to kind of forget the world you're in, which I quite enjoy. It's quite dystopian. So you've got to imagine the world has gone completely dystopian. And there's this ship with this like mad character of Mark Ruffalo's mad character and Tony Collette, who are kind of like these political figures on this ship, like political upper class of the ship. And at the very, very, very lowest class possible is our guy, Mickey 17, who is played by Robert Pattinson.
Isn't the concept that they're like, I've only seen the trailer.
Yeah.
Isn't the concept that they're kind of like disposable people?
He is.
Yeah.
So the concept is that to get himself on this ship, because everyone wants to get on the ship because the world's ruined, to get on the ship, you have to, he just signs up for like the worst job, which is why he's an expendable, which basically means that he can die and then they just reprint him.
Okay.
So they reprint him, they clone him, and they've got his memories. So they just give him the same memories. So he's just, basically, that's his life. It's just dying. So that, you know, they're on this ship.
It sounds a bit Groundhog Day.
It's not though. It's very clever. It's not, because it's not him reliving every moment. It's him.
But he's in like a loop.
Dies.
He
just
out.
dies. Well, I don't want to give too much away.
No, don't give anything away. It sounds also very, I'm completely blanking on, it sounds a bit Severance.
Okay. It's a bit, it's very funny at parts. So it gets really, really funny. And it's very, I looked at some of the reviews because
This is my question. This film flopped.
It flopped.
Tell me why it flopped.
I think it flopped because it's quite out there. I think it flopped because it's quite out there. And I think people were expecting
an amazing director.
I think people were expecting more from Joon-ho than like what this is. I think they were expecting Parasites, but in English. And this isn't about anything like that. It's very like out of worldy. And the characters in it are quite complex because they are being faced with a really bizarre situation. It also talks a bit about like colonization, which I just sometimes feel like when you have these really kind of weird dystopian-esque sci-fis, they are always going to be slow burners. Like V for Vendetta is now like cult.
It also sounds a bit Snowpiercer, which is about the class system but on a train. And that was also originally a Korean film that then got put into English.
See?
I think that's correct. If it not, then cut it to make me not sound dumb.
But I think, I don't know, maybe it was just the state of mind that I was in. I saw some of the reviews on Rotten Tomato were like, some people were like, this is brilliant. Other people were like, this is terrible. I walked out.
Okay, well, I like a polarising film.
It's definitely polarising. So if you watch this film.
Don't tell Enas you hated it, only tell her you love it.
Yeah, my husband hated it.
Okay, well, it's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone.
I have got something that might also not be for everyone. It's a book. It's called Wedding People. Hear me out. It's not actually about weddings. Well, it is. It's not really about wedding. So when I first downloaded it, I was like, oh, be better, Farah. Don't be so self-obsessed. It's not really about wedding. It's by Alison Espach, and this book is very, very funny. It is about a woman called Phoebe Stone who arrives at a hotel called the Grand Cornwall Inn on the northeast of America, so quite where my mind is set at all times at the moment because I only ever want to be in Cape Cod. And when she gets there, a wedding has done a full buyout of the hotel, but they seemed to leave one room empty, which she was able to book.
Oh, wow.
And then when she gets there, the bride is basically like, hey, why are you here? You aren't in a wedding. You want one of the wedding people. And then it's kind of like her and she's going through a lot personally. And she kind of is like this kind of paradox between her life, her goings on, what she's got going on and struggling with, versus the wedding people who are very, very happy and excited about the wedding. And then they're all living these like weird weddingy lives. But are they excited? Who knows? And it's and obviously there's like family complexities, etc., etc. It's a very, very, very good read. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, if you're wondering. Find my Goodreads.
Fun! Okay.
I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
Just then. Anyway, right. I think that's it for today.
Us, yeah.
I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. And please make sure you like and subscribe for more.
You can find us on the National News' YouTube channel and watch our faces, or follow all of our content on social media at The National Arts. Bye.
Bye.